Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Xenogears. I'm Dan.
And I'm Austin.
We are here to play games.
And get the heck out of Dodge. I mean, Solaris.
Yeah, same thing, really.
Right.
All right, so
It's a scary place.
Yeah, pretty much. Last time we had quite a few revelations here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, a lot went down last time. Before we get going, I did want to make sure that we understood one thing Krellian said. I did go ahead and double-check the definition of an intron. An intron is a segment of a DNA or RNA molecule which does not code for proteins and interrupts the gene sequence. So, it's basically data within DNA or RNA that isn't used for genetic coding specifically. It's junk information, I've heard it called before, but it's an interesting factoid about a term being used there that's pretty important, really.
Yeah.
And, all right, we're going to go ahead and exit to the east, and we're going to get out of here. This is pretty straightforward here, but I'm going to make sure to cover these side rooms because there's some pickups we can get here. But yeah, as we're kind of heading out, on our last episode, we learned quite a lot of stuff here. Mainly about, Seitan, the ministry, his relation to things, as well as a bunch of things about what the villains are out for. Here we go. I invite you to note Seitan's new model.
Oh.
So we're going to open with Crystal Water, which is one of my personal favorites.
Wow.
Yeah, so Seitan just got a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's a very different output for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Seitan
That's
uses...
interesting.
Yeah, Seitan uses a katana in kind of a sheath style. And he is incredibly powerful with his sword. Almost to the point of being a different character. But
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, but he still has that very high HP and very high output. But now we can see he starts with the Sengoku sword. He does have sword upgrade paths that are now available to him now that he has chosen to take up the sword again.
Interesting.
I also want to mention I am running past some doors here. A lot of them don't lead to things. Some of them do, however. But, like, for example, I think this one isn't a real door, so it's a little confusing. I am using a map from the FAQ here, but you could try every door, but a lot of them just don't work.
Right.
Kind of us all. And there are a bunch of these party switches that you can use if you choose your party and you want to swap it out.
Yeah. I meant to mention this last time, but the chime, when you touch the blue memory cube, it's the same bell sound as with that elevator in Shivat, and is also the same bell sound when we encountered Red Rum.
Yes. Yeah, we've learned a bit about Red Drum recently with the Bloody Brothers encounter in the last episode as well, which is interesting.
Right. Yeah, I wonder, maybe it's just a reuse of the sound a bit. But I wonder what the purpose of using that particular chime sound is.
It is kind of a recurring sound design motif. Yeah, it's an interesting question. It's not necessarily the most meaningful thing in the world, but I will say there is a little bit more to learn, I believe. Regarding
Isn't there always?
Questions like that. Yeah. Shotgun, 70 ammo. So still getting some more ammo if you're a fan of Billy and using him.
And
And I think we just... Which way am I going here? Let me make sure. Nope, I need to go south. That's why it looked wrong. I keep showing off these new death blows. All of Saiten's death blows have gotten an overhaul, so like his basic ones as well.
Ooh. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, he has a really, really cool style.
I'm a sucker for rose petals, or like sakura blossom petals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I'm a nerd.
I really, really like his sword style. I think it's very cool. Oh!
Hey, yeah.
Bam! Bam! Bam!
Let's be honest, that's a plasma ball.
Pretty much, yeah. I really like this one.
Oh man, that speaks to my inner edgelord.
These new attacks are so cool.
They really are.
Yeah, there are many reasons why Saiten is a standby in my party, and pretty much, you know, he's just incredibly powerful. And he's very, very good in a support role as well, with his Rinki Sazanami combo and his other abilities.
Right.
So, you know, you can't go wrong when using Saiten, honestly.
Seems like an all-around cool guy.
Pretty much.
Except for that whole, like, betraying your trust only to try to regain it moment.
Yeah, so that was an interesting moment where you start to... I mean, I was really mad. I'm like, no, Saiten, you're so cool. Why are you betraying everyone?
Who
Let's
knows?
see. Oh, okay, I see what we need to do here. Go over here. This room should be open, yep. But yeah, he begins to explain some interesting things. We did also get our other limiters taken off, which were keeping us subservient to the ministry. Which I thought was interesting, because I had the same question at first, like, you know, what are they talking about? We've already had our limiters. Is this a plot hole? No, it's other limiters, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the way he said or told Bart that he had removed phase limiter.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder if either Faye didn't have that limiter to begin with,
Right. He was very
Or-
standoffish about that, wasn't he?
or if he didn't actually remove the limiter, because removing that psychic, for lack of a better term, mental limiter
Mm-hmm.
would affect his id.
Would affect his what?
his id,
Hmm.
right? Because he said now we can talk finally, id.
Yes.
And I don't think he's talking to the id we've encountered.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, he's talking to Faye, so unless id showed up and then they could just talk, like, why would id be there?
Hmm.
So I think what he's talking to is Faye's other self that we've seen a couple times.
Faye's other self.
Yeah, well, like we've seen like evidence of the kid, like when we first see him getting into Veltal, right? There was like this other person that he kind of sees get in it,
That's true.
which I think we've seen as Kid Faye, but Kid Faye seems to be a much darker personality.
Right, he's got his hair down in a weird way. He's smirking.
Right, like there's a nefariousness to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that Kid Faye is the shadow self of Faye at this point,
Okay.
or maybe he's the id of like Faye's id. Like maybe he was talking to Faye's shadow self specifically as an
Okay.
example.
That's it certainly begs the question, doesn't it?
Right. which would make sense if the id and shadow self are kind of a little bit synonymous with each other. If we also look at like Elheim and her, the way she is when she's under drive, right, and that darker personality coming out, which is much more primal, and aggressive and instinctual.
Yeah, she's got a dark streak to her as well, which is interesting.
Right, and I think that was her id kind of coming through in that instance.
Just showing off some of Citan's lower level death blows. I am actually going to, let's see, I think this should be sufficient. Yep. Ether defense down there.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting idea with regards to that. There does seem to be a different streak to Ellie when she takes her drive as well, which is interesting to say the least, right?
Right. Well, and we've also been told that the drive, it's not the drive enhancement that made her lose her control there in the history flashback where we've seen.
Right.
Because she had the genetics for the mother in her, which seemed to contribute to her otherness.
Right. Yeah, there was that whole discussion in Krellion's lab where he's talking about things like that.
Right.
Do this one.
Oh, we're getting through this area pretty quick.
Yep. Oh, that one's cool. Yeah, if I remember right, Citan, if you power up his combo meter, his AP meter, and you just kind of spam a bunch of those, it looks just crazy. He's just everywhere with his sword.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
I am very much looking forward to getting Faye's final death blow, which will be happening. We will be able to show off Yamike before we finish up this game.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So when we talked about hyper mode for Heimdall,
yes,
and limiters being removed and all of that, you said you thought, like we said, mechanically, it's probably just a coding issue.
Yes.
But that perhaps you had like an in-head story reason for it.
Yeah, I essentially sort of attribute it to Citan holding back.
Right, I was going to suggest that maybe this is a point where you could actually express that, because it seems like him being able to wield the sword, and now he's expressing his full power a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a little bit of why, I would say. There's some other developments with Citan as we progress that are going to explain both the code issue and why I think basically Citan is not going to be holding back in battle anymore in multiple ways.
Right.
So.
Hey guys.
We have made it to the end of this section. So we'll go ahead and talk with everyone here. I am going to save before we proceed. And we're going to get into it. Let's see. What you guys got for me? Bart?
I guess we're almost there.
Really?
Even if we make it back home, will Prim and her friends be safe? Exit, exit, exit.
I love Esmeralda so much.
Phew, the sky is blue. Thanks.
Yeah.
Saying goodbye to Solaris is hard. This is my home no matter what. All right, almost there, Hammer. Here I am. I came all the way, bro.
Yeah, bro.
This is the last one of the last. Don't let your guard down yet.
All right.
You know there's a boss fight right through that door, right?
That is very true.
Stop.
Now the problems begin.
Hammer, we're going to have a beatdown. Come on, man. put the gun down.
He's got a gun.
Hammer's got a gun. I'm asking Miss Ellie to return with me. What are you doing, Hammer? Don't move. I'm serious. Don't be silly. What happened? Hammer? I promised to a man named Krelian. He won't change it if Miss Ellie is returned. What do you mean by that?
Change what, Hammer?
Right. Hammer. Damn you. I really don't want to do this to Miss Ellie either. Really, I like her very much, but I have no other choice because I'm no good. I don't have the strength like Bro, or the smarts like the Doc. I know everyone thinks of me as some annoying handyman who talks too much. I know that. Hammer. I'm different from you all. I'm not special like you. A normal guy like me has no choice but to do this. Don't move. Stop. Stop. I won't stop. Ever. My child is in danger. And I'm her mother. I was born and raised in a normal family. I'm not a soldier like my husband and daughter. I never touched a gun before. Much less have one pointed at me. That's why I'm shaking, but I can't stop it. I'm a normal mother, so there are things I must protect. Ellie, slowly come here. Don't worry, I'll protect you no matter what. Mother. Ellie, come here. It's all right. She's dead. No, don't move. No, no. It's all right, Ellie. Faye. No, don't go. No, no. Don't go. Don't. Bro. I knew it. Mother. Yeah.
Super upset.
Wah!
Run away!
Mother. Hammering over his head.
Mm-hmm.
Mother. Mother. Mother! That's sad.
Indeed.
Rolf.
Problems.
Get out. Leave the girl here. Why? Why does it matter to you?
Good question.
Groff. At a time like this, go away. Nobody likes you. Everybody, get ready.
All right. So we're given a party selection because we're about to fight a boss. We're going to stick with this party. Now we got to fight Groff and the woman from the Kislev scene, the masked woman.
Do you want the power?
All right. The masked woman is called the Executioner. You want to focus the Executioner first. Groff is almost irrelevant in this fight. The Executioner hits a lot harder than Groff.
That's so interesting. A lot of Groff's encounters, he's really not a huge threat.
Right.
It's always been something else that's the threat whenever we've encountered Groff.
Usually that is the case, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously he did this that one time on Goliath, but, like, in general...
Yeah, he's quite powerful. He just doesn't seem to, like, do a huge amount of... Like, he doesn't bring a lot of threat most of the time.
It makes me feel like he's holding back on purpose.
Yeah, Groff has kind of mysterious objectives in a way. It's interesting.
Yeah, we've made it through a very large portion of this game, and we still don't have... or rather, I should say I don't, because you've probably seen all kinds of foreshadowing, but I have no clue as to what his actual end goal is.
Yeah, we are going to be putting together the character that is Groff in upcoming scenes, so don't you worry about that. There is plenty on him still.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about it. I know we'll get it. He's too much of a main player to not get it.
Mm-hmm. Groff is a very important player in what's going on.
It's just really interesting that he's been that mysterious. He and Myung, and even Ramses to some degree, we don't know. I don't know enough about them to know what they're going for.
Yep, they're all quite important, though.
Yeah. And it's clear that they all have their own objectives that overlap in some ways, but have very different outcomes.
Right. Sighton is so fast. Yeah, on foot, it's arguable that Sword Sighton puts out the highest DPS, despite Faye being able to outburst him.
Yeah.
So, them together, they just bring so much violence. Basically, you can...
really cool.
Do what?
I was going to say, it's really cool because Sighton's been with Faye from the beginning.
Yeah. All right, level up's there. I like that.
You've gotten better, however. Oh? I'll take care of this. Everyone, escape now.
Eric!
Well, Father. You doth dote on your child. You both dote. Either way.
Yeah.
Okay. Ellie, go. Now. Ellie, no matter what happens, believe in yourself. Go on. We'll be happy to help any way we can. That's the least I can do to make it up to you. Ellie, you're Medina's daughter, my daughter, no matter what. So, Father! Oh, have I overdone it? You had no time to say goodbye. But don't worry, I'll let you meet again on the other side. How could you do that? To my father! Uh-oh. To have that much ether control in a non-awakened state. Impressive. However...
Ah!
Ah! Yeah! Wow! Ah! Ah! Achoo! Wow! Wow! Ellie, everyone. Just like their sheer aura, basically, is causing problems.
Yep. The Executioner's aura is causing them all issues. Oh, look who it is.
Just keep sleeping. That heartbeat, though.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, are you ready?
Never. Sir, the gear's moving by itself in the hangar. Wait, Aaronval? Is that right?
What?
The Omnigear? What? More details.
Oh, Elenvari?
Aaronval. Yes, that one. One day I might remember the actual name of this gear. Oh no, it's Veltal.
It is Veltal.
Oh, that's interesting. Wait a minute. What the heck?
Remember the black boxes?
What? That looks like the Demon of Elru's gear.
It is the Demon of Elru's gear.
What the heck?
Uh-huh. It was Veltal the whole time.
But hold on. Does that mean Faye snapped and then fought with Bart?
Correct.
What the heck?
Yeah, so I figured we would have to kind of go through the appearances a little bit once this happened. But yes, when the demon appeared, that was when Faye blacked out while fighting Dora. And then his gear transformed, and he came over and fought with Bart. That is what happened in that scene.
Oh, man.
And if you recall, when we fought Id and Zeboim, Faye wasn't in the party. He was unconscious, quote-unquote, and his gear had steam coming off of it when we came back from Zeboim, and he was finally awake.
Oh, that's true.
Yep. All the little hints were there, but they're all kind of coming together.
Oh my, I would never in a million years predicted that.
Yep.
I had a feeling that Weltal could transform in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the transformation I was expecting.
Yep.
Wow, that is mind-boggling. All right, well, that's going to have to be unpacked later.
Oh, we're going to unpack it pretty soon here, but yeah, definitely.
Whew. Come on, come on, come on. Good to know that Ramses survived whatever that ridiculousness was.
Yeah.
You devil, I'll be sure to kill you this time. Now Ramses's aggression toward Faye makes sense, too.
Right, because he's like, where's your other gear? He's talking about the transformed Veltal.
That's it. That's it. He came all this way just to be killed. Ah!
Yeah, sorry, Ramses. Wyvern's no match for Veltal Id.
Please. Wyvern's no match for Aerods.
That's right.
There he was. Yes, it's clear. It's nothing like the half-ass stuff we've dealt with before.
Myung.
Wait. What?
The executioner, the masked woman, that was Myung the whole time.
Okay.
More reveals. More reveals.
Does Groff know?
Oh yeah, Groff knows.
Okay. That she's the executioner, but also works with Krellian.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
Yep.
I don't think he'll get off the stage easily this time.
This is one of the things that we're starting to see. All of the antagonists of this game have their own objectives, but they tend to converge with each other's whenever it's convenient for them.
Right.
So Myung's objectives are different from Krellian's, are different from Groff's, but they all can kind of, like, when it's convenient for each other, that sort of thing. So
right, yeah, because why not, right? Make things easier for yourself.
Yep. Yeah, don't think he'll get off the stage easily this time.
Faye's mental energy seems to have been weakened, and it's similar to the old days now. What's so amusing? His feelings haven't changed over the years. Maybe you have mixed feelings? Maybe you have mixed feelings?
Mhm.
Kind of weird emphasis there. Don't be stupid. By the way, what about Ramses? You want him to bring her back? Too late. Car has left already. I really want to say it's a waste of time, but I guess it's all right. He probably made it easier to control it. Nevertheless... What? How can you continue to fight without a chance of winning? Isn't that what you want? Though I induced you to feel that way.
All right, so this is a little confusing. I just want to clarify that the usage of you in this line and in Krellian's previous line seem to be referring to Ramses. So they're basically saying that because of Ramses' rage toward Faye, he's easier to control.
Right.
So they're basically manipulating him using Faye. To what end?
Yes.
We still have to answer that question.
Right. I mean, even Groff's manipulating Faye, so there's...
Yeah.
He seems to be an integral part to everyone's plans in some way or form.
He does.
But we're almost there. Only our actual example of success. Our only actual example of success. I do not know why I'm struggling. Let's take good care of him. What her true intentions are, I don't even know. We're going. This place will soon be gone. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We should do Carr a favor and save him. Shouldn't we?
You're so cold, Mia.
Ellie, are you okay? Ellie! Ellie, have you come to your senses yet?
Hmm?
Oh, that's them fighting in the distance. That's cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Titan Maria? Yeah, we were saved when we were thrown out into the sky. The rest of my crew were already picked up and they're in the Yggdrasil right now. Oh. Faye? What about Faye? Is he on the Yggdrasil too? Nah, he's that big flashy thing behind us.
Yup.
Solaris! That red gear? What's going on, Titan? What happened to Faye? Calm down, Ellie. He's all right. So he's already in Yggdrasil, right, Maria? Calm down, Ellie. Listen. Faye is riding in that gear. That gear is actually Veltal in its true form after transformation. I wonder if Titan knew that from the beginning, too.
That's a very good question. You might... My theory on that is Titan saw what happened in Lahan at the beginning of the game. And if you recall, that menacing-looking younger version of Faye with the hair in front of his eyes was in Veltal's cockpit before it went crazy and blew up everything.
Right.
So I believe that to be an incomplete manifestation of id, and we'll talk more about that as we go here, but I think maybe Titan knew since Lahan. I have other reasons for saying that, but yeah.
Okay. What? What?
What?
Another Fae within him has awakened. Fae and id are the same person. Are you kidding me? I don't believe that. So even red-haired id is the same person as Fae?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, check it out.
I'm not lying. We saw it with our own eyes, the very sight of him turning into id.
Flashback.
Oh, when everything went dark?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
When Faye blacks out.
Stop. Stop.
All goes red.
Wow. What the heck?
He physically transforms.
Is that because he's the contact?
Hmm.
Faye is it? Don't be ridiculous. Ooh. Wow, that's a much higher quality cutscene than we've had in a while.
Yep.
He is wrecking Solaris right now.
Yeah, Etranok is being destroyed by Veltal currently.
Quick, take cover. The Solarian-based energy descending from the upper atmosphere is equivalent to a reactive weapon.
Essentially a nuke.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah, not good.
All those innocent people.
Yep.
That's really sad.
Yeah, it's rough.
I don't think anybody's gonna survive that.
Hmm.
We're gonna get caught up in it. Yggdrasil, get moving. Well, there goes Ignis.
Solaris is destroyed anyway.
Yep. Jeez.
Ooh. Made it out.
Phew. We made it. Somehow?
Uh-oh.
What the? It's that right here. It's coming this way. Damn. We're spotted.
It's pursuing.
Ellie? Poseidon, what now? What should we do? Leave. Huh? What are you asking me? You're asking me what to do?
I don't know.
I've only made it this far in my plans. There's someone on the deck. It's Ellie? What? Tell her to get her butt back inside. What are you doing? No, Ellie. Return immediately. I'm going to do this, so please allow me to do it. It is too dangerous. I know. But it's just like when Faye put his life on the line to save me. It's my turn to save Faye. As long as it helps him, I don't care what happens to me. Ellie. Hey. You. Oh, I can kind of see it in his face now, too. Dang.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's different, but it's very much Faye's face.
Interesting. You've come to die, eh? Yes. Wow. If that is what will satisfy you, then kill me. Now. Good girl. Now die. Let's go. Faye, I won't ever let go. Faye, please, return to the real Faye. Who's to say this isn't the real Faye? What? Alrighty.
Sparks. Ah.
Faye, please. This woman. I knew it. Oh. Damn it. He's awakening.
Brought him back. All right. Time to explain, Seitan.
I am sorry. I did not want to say anything until I was sure. I was on a secret mission by orders of Emperor Cain to monitor Faye. He ordered me to determine whether Faye would be a threat to the world or not. The contact. That is what the Emperor calls Faye.
Oh, flashback to earlier.
I wonder what these pictures mean.
It's a good question.
This is your conclusion. Yes, Your Majesty. This is the answer that I chose myself. Oh, we've heard this word before.
Ananobe, yep.
Yep, Ananobe. You think you can do it? Yes. Humans have the potential. Managers are no longer needed. The contact is not our enemy? Yes, as you say, Your Majesty. If Faye is... then I leave it up to you. I atone for my crime by doing so.
Yeah, so we learn a little about the Emperor's motivations. He has done something that he believes to be a crime, and he is working to atone for it.
Yeah.
This is another flashback to Seitan explaining to Jesse and Sigurd some of what's going on here.
Gotcha. Anonelbe, the long-awaited man of God, who will take the people born in this world with him to a new horizon. Such is the destiny of the contact. That is what the Emperor called Faye.
So, Ananobe is a description of what they're waiting for, and the contact is another name, basically, for what they believe Faye to be, the man of God.
He is the chosen one.
Basically, yes. But why? What chose him? How did this happen, right?
Right. He did not tell me why he called Faye that, though. Who the heck is he, then? He is Faye. But he is also the one who destroyed Elru, caused Ka serious injury, sank the Yggdrasil, killed Rico's subordinates in Kislev.
All right, so I've been waiting to point this out. In Kislev, we went into the sewers, if you recall, and Faye seemed to be exonerated by destroying Redrum. If you look very closely to what's going on, when Rico's subordinates are being killed in the sewer, the few we see, we get a first-person perspective, and the screen is red.
Yes.
Every time Redrum appears when we're dealing with him, the screen is green.
Green. Right. I wondered about that.
Id was the one, he was manifesting Id in Nortune while recovering and killing Rico's subordinates in the sewers.
Huh.
So he was actually the one that did that. Seitan let it be. It's unclear if he knew at that time, but he let it be because it was, to everyone's advantage, including Faye's, to exonerate him and get him out of there.
Right.
But yeah, it's certainly,
Interesting.
yeah, it's very interesting that we're seeing that, like, there was a very subtle distinction being made even then.
Yeah, I had always wondered about why the screen was different. I just
Yep.
never said anything about it because I was like, well, maybe it was just like maybe the creature was hunting specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and which is why it had red vision, and then when it was running from us, it was perspective of
Right.
not aggression. So
Yeah, like it goes red when it's being aggressive, but it's still
right,
green when it's coming at the party with the intention to murder us, right? So
that's true.
this is because it's two different people, two different entities.
Hmm. Boy, I was not ready for these bomb drops.
Yup.
Need I continue further? He is id. What did you say? Id? What do you mean? He, Faye, that is, has a dissociative identity disorder. Really?
Yep, they pulled out DID. So this is a real psychological diagnosis. I don't remember which DSM was out at the time. It might have been the 3. But yeah, dissociative identity disorder characterized by the presence of at least 2 distinct and relatively enduring personality states. So Faye has a split personality. It's sometimes mistakenly called schizophrenia. More on that in a minute here. But yeah, the id and who we know as Faye are 2 different personalities within the being that is Faye, right? The same person.
Right. Yeah, but it being DID is very different than I think what I was thinking.
Which is
that there was like the spirit of another person, right? Who could take over,
Yeah.
Like it's like 2 souls inhabiting one body, which I guess you could argue that DID is a variation of that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to define what a soul is at that point. Psychology is the science of the soul in a lot of ways. So yeah, in many ways, they're 2 distinct personalities.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I think you're referring more to like a spiritual possession.
Right.
And it is worth pointing out at this point that generally DID doesn't mean you radically physically change and have like this vast amount of additional power or something. There's something else is going on besides a DID diagnosis here, right?
Right, of course.
So,
but also science and magic, so
essentially, yes.
Or in a world with science and magic, so it's bound to have. Anyway.
Yeah.
Also known more commonly as multiple personalities. Dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities.
Jesse's like, what? You're saying a thing.
Yeah, that's a $10 word.
Yeah.
It is a mental disorder where one person has multiple personalities. That can't be real. Oh, but it is very real. Faye is living proof of it. I have been watching over Faye, who has a destroyer personality within him named Id. In the beginning, he was stable. His disassociation did not occur at all while he lived in Lahan for those 3 years.
Yeah, so in the beginning, he's referring to when he first began watching over Faye 3 years ago.
Right. But then, after Lahan was attacked, things changed. Little by little, the number of incidences of his disassociation and their link began to increase. And then at Solaris, a complete manifestation of id occurred. What brought it about? He was fine when he was in Lahan, right? My guess is that the appearance of Groff affected Faye somehow.
Yeah, so this is also worth pausing on for a moment. In Lahan, Groff was present. At the Dora, Groff was present. In Solaris, Groff was present. Like, think of an occurrence of id. About the only one where Groff wasn't present was actually in Nortune, where Faye was injured and he was recovering and he was periodically manifesting id when he was like during the night, basically.
Yeah, but even Groff was kind of involved with that too, because the executioner, or Myong, as we now know,
Yeah.
was the one speaking to the Kaiser.
Yeah. Yeah.
And moving Faye to that location specifically.
Right. So I guess my point is Groff being in physical proximity isn't strictly necessary, but it seems that Groff is very good at provoking this manifestation within Faye.
Right. You probably know that Faye worked with Groff as the assassin Id before he was brought to live in Lahan.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene with Id, Groff, and Khan all standing there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Id, as we know now, was Faye. When Khan is talking about his son, he's referring to Id, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Ah. It was then that Elru, the homeland of Dominia, was utterly obliterated.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Groff was intentionally provoking the manifestation of Id within, for want of a better word. Faye.
Yeah, so we'll learn a little bit more about Elru pretty soon, but yeah, Elru is a demi-human country. Dominia is from there. She is technically a demi-human. She just kind of doesn't look like a lot of the other ones because there's kind of a wide spectrum of how demi-humans are.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, I'll have more to say about that here in a second, but yeah.
For what purpose? To destroy God. That is what Groff was saying. Mother God, specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which they kind of use it interchangeably, so maybe not so literal, but sometimes it feels like there's two different entities they're talking about when they talk about that.
Talk about God?
Yeah.
It does feel that way. Mm-hmm.
That is all I know, although there might be more to it, but one thing is certain. Groff was encouraging the manifestation of Id, but did not have adequate control over him. In other words, it was too much for him to handle. Yes. You said that's all you know, although there might be more to it. What did you mean by that? I shall go on to explain that now. Actually, that is the most important point. There's nothing you can do.
Obviously, flashback to when Faye was held in that restraint.
Right. Okay, so before this progresses too much, he's changing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where it goes black, and he says, finally we can talk Id, and I assumed that was when Faye blacked out.
Which is correct.
Right. And then he was talking to the alternate personality. Little did I know, when he said Id, he actually meant Id.
Literally.
So that, yeah, that totally bumps out whatever I was thinking about earlier.
Yep.
That's okay, though.
Mm-hmm.
You understand well. Just as I expected, Satan. Or was it Doc? I've been wanting to meet you, Id. I wanted to talk with you. I guess it is all due to this machine which cuts the nerve connections.
So when Satan was being extremely cruel to Faye and keeping him in this restraint, that's why he was doing it. He was provoking Id in order to talk to him.
Right, which I suspected he was trying to provoke something out of Faye at the time.
Yep. And he did it well.
Yeah. Anyway, what is Faye doing as of now? Sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Faye? Which Faye do you mean? There's more than one?
Mm-hmm.
Id. The one you call Faye is asleep. Sleeping. When I am awake, he sleeps. That is why he has no memory of what I do. Why does he not know? It's obvious. He is my subordinate. He cannot peer into my memories. He should not, in actuality, even exist. That man forcibly created his personality. Faye is a tenant in this room of cowardice.
A tenant in the room of cowardice.
That man? Our father, Khan.
So somehow Khan was able to create this new personality of Faye's 3 years ago, about.
He sealed up my personality in the deepest recesses of my consciousness. Through some inexplicable reason, that is when the present Faye was born. When you said cowardice, what did you mean? Why ask about him? The weakling. You think you can do something? It is rare to be able to talk to a real schizophrenic.
All right, so I'm going to grind my axe on this a little bit before we proceed here. So I mentioned earlier that DID is commonly referred to as schizophrenia, and that's erroneous. I just want to take a moment to explain. Schizophrenia is a different disorder, and it's characterized by alterations in perceptions, thoughts, mood, and behavior. So usually a schizophrenic will exhibit psychosis, things like delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thoughts and speech, as well as things like flat affect, anhedonia, avolition, asociality, alogia, and general apathy. So what all of that means is a schizophrenic, and I'm boiling it down because there are multiple, there's like at least 10 or something types of schizophrenics, but
Sure.
They do tend to have strong delusions, hallucinations, and they will, all of those complicated words, it just means they have trouble expressing emotion or any sort of intention, right? So alogia is disorganized logic thought patterns.
Right.
They're apathetic about social relationships. They don't really make decisions. Anhedonia means incapable of experiencing pleasure. Things like that.
Yeah. I think in the 90s, especially when this was made, schizophrenia was a little more nebulous, right? Or was it as hard to find even then?
Well, yeah, DID and schizophrenia were still two different things in the DSM-3 in the 90s. But it was very, very common to call someone with multiple personalities a schizophrenic.
Right.
And to this game's credit, it does explain what DID is before this. And the literal translation of schizophrenia is splitting of the mind. So, you know, I'm not going to be too down on this. I just want to clarify that because it's my axe to grind. I've got my background in psychology and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
Right, of course.
But yeah.
Wasn't there a movie that actually relayed a schizophrenic mind really well, like American Psycho or something like that?
Maybe
I'm misremembering.
But I think that's general psychosis or sociopathy.
Okay. Well, I feel like he
Psycho.
had like schizophrenic episodes in that movie.
You could be right.
There was some definitely like hallucinogenic stuff happening.
Yeah, that's probably right. I don't know a lot about American Psycho, but I think that's correct. For DID though, I believe the movie Sybil is a good exploration of it if you're interested in things that explore that. But yeah, I think that's right actually, American Psycho, now that I'm remembering it a little bit more. Because there are instances where he sees and hears things, visual auditory hallucinations. I think that's what they were trying to go with there.
Yeah. Well, and then later in the movie, there's definitely like events happening where you kind of see from his perspective, and then you see the reality, and they are very different.
Yep. And interestingly, Fight Club might be another good example that might include both.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, Tyler Durden, he has two different personalities at least, and has very strong hallucinations to the point where he hallucinates his other self. So there might be a comorbidity there. It's interesting, but my understanding is the book is a little more nuanced than the movie. I have not actually read the book.
Right.
So I will defer to anybody that wants to clarify that in the comments. Feel free to go crazy with it. But yeah, it's at least in the movie, there seems to be traits of both disorders there, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But yeah, not to labor this too much longer. Let's get back on here.
As a scholar, I am extremely intrigued. With friends like you, eh, Doctor? I like you, Citan, but he is insignificant. After all, he's just a failure. A coward like him does not deserve to be Faye's existence. The pathetic one who has always fled from reality. He never did one thing against me when I controlled him. A coward who refused to live. He should have been erased, but he continues to exist. Why won't he disappear? Damn it, makes my skin crawl just being in the same body as him. Let us change the subject then. I would like to know how and why your personalities were split. Since you are the one in control, I would assume you would know the story. Normally, personalities do not split as they did with you. Unless there was some sort of past trauma. You want me to talk about my memories? Don't misunderstand. I haven't given you the right to question me. Just because I'm held down by this machine, don't push your luck. If I really wanted to, I could break the restraints and crush you. Don't you forget it. Then why not do it? Because I'm full of bravado. Should I tell you why? You do not have complete control over Faye, do you? Your control of him is incomplete. To break those bonds would require a tremendous amount of mental energy. Having used up your energy, Faye would return again. Basically, you would have to leave the stage.
So, kind of what Myung was talking about a few scenes ago, where she wasn't sure when he would leave the stage. She's fully aware of what's going on here as well. As is Krellian, because they're talking, they're both pretty much aware of what's happening with Faye/id here.
Obviously, the day you would be able to return is indeterminate. Hence, you will not do it. Am I mistaken? So you know me too well. I don't have complete. What is wrong, id? You forced me on stage. He's waking. Under normal circumstances, I would have been able to hold on. But I can't. This is all that woman's fault. Her existence makes Faye resistant. You mean Ellie? That woman. The same everyone. Oh, excuse me, the same, period. Everyone must eliminate. I do not understand. I do not understand, id. You don't need to understand. But when the time comes, just take it as it comes. Reality and death. I'll eventually get to you. Be seeing ya.
Such an edgelord, id.
He's certainly very angry.
Very angry. And he's got this insecure streak to him. Like, don't you forget it. Like, just all the bluster, right?
Right. The emotional portion of Faye's present personality was sealed up by his father through some method. And now with the cleared foundation of id's personality, in computer terms, it is like constructing a mock personality on top of the compatible portion of the OS. That is the reason Faye was no memory of his past. It's a shell. Those 10 or so years of memories are under the supervision of id. As long as id does not willingly hand over the memories. There is no way for Faye to know, since he did not even exist before the time id was sealed up. Ah, okay. The present Faye's personality is an underdeveloped one which was built upon within. The 3 years of living in Lahan, studying and acquiring other people's reactions. Hence, he does not know how to fully cope with sudden or emotional situations. Ellie, you are the one who has spent the most time with Faye, so I would assume you would understand this. Were there not times when he would be psychologically unstable? For example, he'd be manically depressive and then have sudden fits of rage. Like a child. Yes.
He's basically had to pick up the pieces and form a new personality as of 3 years ago.
Yeah. Then his present personality is but only a temporary one? That is not what I'm saying. The present Fae is one singular personality. That structure-wise, his personality was constructed on top of its. Hence, placing Fae at a lower hierarchy. That is why, when it is active, Fae has no recollection of it. Then that means he might eventually be overtaken by id? Yes, if we are only id and Fae. But that does not seem to be the case. It only manifests when Fae's mental energy is in a weakened state. It is a mystery in itself that the lower-level personality of Fae has any control over the upper-level personality of id. It is obvious that there exists a third personality. It calls this existence the coward.
Okay. Brief pause here. First of all, I invite you to remember one of the first cutscenes of the game where Ellie is calling Faye a coward, and he says, "That's right, I'm a coward." So, it's a very important bit of foreshadowing here. There are 3 personalities within Faye. There is Faye, there is id, and then there is the coward. Now, I just want to take a moment to talk about the traditional triad of personality by Sigmund Freud. It's where we get the word id, the name id. So the id is the part of a personality, and this is talking about a complete personality, not necessarily a split one. So the analogy isn't going to be perfect here, but follow me for a second. The id is the unconscious source of bodily needs and wants. So it's basically emotional impulses, desires, especially aggression and the sexual drive. And the id acts according to the pleasure principle, which is the psychic force oriented to immediate gratification of impulse and desire. The character of id is very much modeled on this, just violence and aggression and emotion and volatility, right? There are 2 other portions of this. There's the ego, which acts according to an assessment of the external world, acting accordingly, and it mediates the id's personality, or impulses, basically. Now, Faye is cut off from id. So he's got a little bit of, he has desires of his own, but his personality is underdeveloped in its current state, right? Normally, the ego is obliged to cloak the unconscious commands of the id with its own preconscious rationalizations. Something that's preconscious is subconscious before you process it. So essentially the ego is the rational or logical mind. It's reason. It is coping with and understanding your current situations and making logical inferences about it. It's using your brain, if you will. As opposed to the id, which is using your desires, your base or animal instincts. The third portion is called the superego. The superego is mainly about the internalization of cultural rules, which starts as being absorbed from the parents or other authority figures, or the general culture. So it can be described as a person's conscience, and it aims for moral and spiritual perfection. So when you're talking about the spiritual portion of a person, or the higher-minded, maybe one might call it a mystical-minded part of a person, that's the superego. That's the one that looks for purpose and rightness and feeling unified and fulfilled, right? And so the superego, the ego tends to try to mitigate the id, but the superego is trying to unify it all together. So that's really, there's a lot more details, so if you're interested in this, check out Freud's works on it, and keep in mind, a lot of people came after him, so there's a lot of refinement of this, but this is basically what we're talking about here. We've got 3 personalities, and they roughly will fit into these 3 portions of Freud's personality triad. There are some differences. We'll get to those, but remember, there is a base personality called the coward at work here as well.
Right.
Any thoughts on that? I know I talked for a minute.
No, I don't have anything to add. It is a lot to read on, and I am not nearly as studied at it as you are, so I'll leave that expertise to you.
Yeah, Freud is one of the big psychiatrists that was, thinkers that was an influence on the material of this game. So, wanted to make sure to give it, that material its due here.
Sure, and he was pretty foundational in the field as well.
Yep.
In a lot of ways.
Yep, we're going to be getting to some of the other minds. There are several others that influenced a lot of the material of this game. But yeah. All right, forward.
In my observation, this coward may be the fundamental personality of Fae. In other words, id's manifestation is not controlled by Fae, but is controlled by the personality known as the coward. And that means what? At the same time id resents this coward, he also obviously fears it. From a certain point of view, this coward is the one assisting in keeping present Fae in control. I do not know the reason why this third personality... Fae's fundamental personality does not come out. If this one awakens, it will become one with id. In other words, there is a possibility that the complete original personality may be restored. Is that for sure? Probably, but I do not know how to awaken it. So he's proposing that if we can restore this coward to and awaken it to Fae and id, they will combine into one individual.
Right. Yeah.
Where the coward's personality, fundamental personality, would still be in control, essentially.
So
of the id aspects.
Yeah, so one of the ways that DID can be treated in the real world is a process of reintegration. So in extreme cases with dissociative identity disorder, different personalities will have different access to memory. So there's memory repression occurring. So the idea here is that if you could fuse the coward, Fae, and id all together, that they would merge. Their memories would be accessible to one personality, is what I believe Seitan is proposing here.
Right, but I guess my concern would be that if id takes control as the one personality, then you just have a maniac on your hands, right?
Sure. The problem is it is not the fundamental personality. So it depends, right? Going by Freud's theories, they're all aspects of Fae. So when they merge, he wouldn't be any one of them. He would be a merge of all three.
Right. I guess that's what I was getting at, was the question is, would that fundamental aspect of Fae still technically be in control of the more nebulous versions of id and ego and superego, essentially?
So the other perspective on that is that the coward is the fundamental personality, but all the memories and the developments of the other two would merge into the coward's personality. And they would become it's a different kind of merger, but the fundamental personality in that case would be Faye's original personality, right?
Okay.
So it wouldn't be id or who we know as Faye, but aspects would get subsumed, basically.
So I guess the question is because we're talking about how Khan created this Fae persona or personality to split, to control id.
Right.
Because id was out of control. So what created id initially? Was there an initial split?
That's a very good question.
That then Khan created the Fae to kind of help control it? Or at least to create an outward something else to keep it in check? Because obviously the coward does the most of it, but why?
So Khan one might surmise that his objective was as much to deal with his son and the obvious brokenness that came from, the initial personality split off into this id personality. So he's trying to fix that, but keep in mind, we just heard about all of the atrocities, and we just saw the, huge amount of murder id is capable of. He does not care. He will murder everyone. He wants to murder everyone.
Right.
He destroyed Elru. He just kills like crazy. So probably the objective of Khan was to seal away that for the sake of the world, basically.
Right. Well, not to mention that Groff said that he had been, or rather, one of them mentioned that he had been the assassin for Groff.
Yes.
Id specifically.
Seitan mentioned that.
Yeah,
Faye worked as the assassin id for Groff. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, the question does remain, and this is a question Seitan asked id. He's like, how were you initially split off from the coward? Id didn't answer. There was no answer given at that point.
Right.
So it's still a mystery at this point. There's probably things we could surmise at this point, but that is a question we need to answer, that's for sure.
Right.
Seitan's speculation was that there was some sort of trauma that occurred.
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Sorry for all the bunny trails.
Hey, this is all material we're needing to cover at this point, so
That's true.
this is very good.
All right. Next two lines that we need to unpack. Let's go.
Yep.
Basically, as long as nothing happens to Faye, that would challenge his existence. Faye can be himself. But his surroundings do not allow him that opportunity. It would be best for him to live in a place that is peaceful. So I guess he's still id right now, flying around doing something wild.
Nope.
Or
remember, Faye came back. Ellie brought Faye back.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Gear fell over.
Right. I forgot. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot that's happening.
Yeah, there's plenty. Yeah.
So is Faye like in the hospital bed, like unconscious or something, or?
Well, we're gonna have to find out where he is currently.
Yeah, because he's not with them. So maybe he's in like a prison cell or something. Okay. That is Lacan. No, the Dark One. Groff's second advent. We must restrain and seal him up, otherwise we don't know what may occur. Cease this at once. May we at least wait for wise men to return before we make any resolutions? Although a tactician, why do you place so much importance on him? I have been silent all this time since Khan's death, since he was directly recruited by the Queen. However, I question why you would use such a person whose principles lack any understanding of sacrifice. Well, that is... You must look at reality, the existence of that power. Hold on. What's this Groff's second advent? The day of the collapse was brought upon by Groff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Groff manipulated Diabolos into destroying this world.
Yeah, the day of collapse, 500 years ago. Diabolos catastrophe.
Boom.
So Groff was also around at that time.
Everybody's like millions of billions of years old for no reason. And that power within id is far too similar to Groff's. We cannot allow such a hazard to be set free. What's Groff's first advent? We got to immediately freeze him in carbonite. Otherwise, come on, really?
Yup.
Otherwise, accept the worst at any moment.
Carbonite, as in Star Wars.
Yes. It's a little too on the nose there, don't you think?
Yeah. It's kind of silly. Groff's first advent would be Groff, though. What they're saying is, id seems to be manifesting the same way Groff did.
Gotcha.
Also, remember they referred to Lacan, and we've seen Lacan. So...
So is id Lacan's original form? Or rather, is Lacan id's original form? I guess I should say.
Faye and Lacan look alike, is what I'm saying
Right.
there.
Yeah, right. Well, and we also know that Kim from Saboam looks like Faye as well.
Yes.
So that's why I was wondering if the id we're experiencing now is Lacan, who is also Faye, and Faye is the creation, if that makes sense.
No. Well,
Okay.
it's hard to answer that. Let's keep going. We'll get to that, I promise.
Right. I'm sure, but it's...
They've sort of said it, but I want to make sure we get through this dialogue, and I will explain it.
Okay. No, but isn't the present Faye the real Faye? If that's the case, then why? But he is still far too dangerous. Think about it. He single-handedly annihilated the Solaris capital. He can't set him free. Not only that, in the past, there were countless other cities that were destroyed by id. I don't know what their intentions, but Graf and Krelian were always involved somehow. And one of those incidents was Elru. It was Dominion's homeland. Solaris' purging of the rebellion city of Elru was done through the use of id to test its capabilities. As a result, not only was Elru taken down, all the Solaris units' presence were wiped out.
Yeah, so it just went crazy, and everyone died there, including almost everyone from Elru. One thing I do want to mention, it's frequently stated that Domania is the survivor of Elru. There is another survivor of Elru, and I've checked, and I don't think it ever is actually covered in the game script. That is Kaiser Sigmund of Nortune of Kislev. Kaiser Sigmund is... We've seen he's a demi-human, and he is from Elru. He was out of country at the time of the disaster of id exterminating Elru.
Wow.
So there are at least two survivors that we know of, and by extension, Rico is sort of a descendant of Elru. But because it was kind of a demi-human nation, and Elru, they talk about it as a city, as a country, is also one of the 4 continents on this world. There's like Ignas, Aquavi, Elru, and then the other one whose name escapes me at the moment. So there are other demi-humans around, so there may be others, but Dominia is used as the example in most dialogue.
Gotcha.
Yep.
He's responsible for the Yiggs and our... So he was the one who killed my subordinates in the sewers. What's wrong with you all? Aren't you supposed to be his friends? It appears everyone else is in agreement. The risks are just too great. Satan? No, that's terrible. It is decided then. He will be scheduled for carbon freezing tomorrow.
Brutal.
Like rice through a cart. I heard about it from Doc. Id. Who would have ever thought within me lies another me? But you're the same Faye I've always known. You return to your old self. Please don't be obsessed with it. Okay, that's the same music box music from the beginning.
Yes, it is.
They say I'm the second advent of Graf. The one who destroyed all of this world. Seems Graf used to be a land dweller named Lacan.
So Lacan is Graf.
What?
Right.
Ah.
So what they're saying is they're seeing a pattern where Lacan, something happened to him, and he ended up as Graf in today's world. And Graf was behind the Diabolos collapse as well. So they're seeing Faye beginning to go down that path as well with id, and they both have these vast powers. And so they're like, nah, we can't have this happen again. He'll blow up everything. He'll kill everyone. And
Why? But why does he have memories of Lacan as Lacan?
oh, that's a great question. Yeah, they seem to have a deeper connection than just, and they look alike, and then we remember Kim from Zeboim as well. What is
Right, but
happening with them, right?
why? Yeah, like why are these memories here?
Mm-hmm.
I obviously the reincarnation theory can't work if Lacan is still alive, because it's not a reincarnated spirit at that point.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's an interesting question, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah. Listen,
Mhm.
you don't have to be like that. I understand. Most of my questions are rhetorical. All right, let's
Yeah,
move on. No, man. They're not thinking about what they're saying. They're just confused by your powers.
we're all confused by your powers, Faye.
Like, yeah, at this point, for sure. Graf called me the one who would destroy God. In a way, I can understand what he means now. Though my id power isn't good enough, if it has the same quality as Graf's, let's escape. If Graf with a war brings out id, let's go to the place where no war exists. To Mahanan. If you did that, you'd be... That's all right. I don't have a place to go back to either. Thanks, Ellie, but no. Even if I left the battlefield, there's no guarantee that it'll never appear again. That was a weird way to look at that.
Yeah, it's a weird, yeah.
Besides, I tried to kill you. You're still okay with that? Then you could have killed me if you really wanted to, right? The other you, its power is nothing like that. But you still didn't go through with it. You knew when it was enough. Isn't that because your will was in effect? If you're to be controlled by id and all those around you become your enemies, I'd still be by your side. Because I know it's lonely to be by yourself.
I'm sure that's what you were trying to say, Ellie.
Right.
The words kind of catching in her throat there.
No. Sophia. Well, now I'm just curious how Sophia ties into that all too. Because Lacan knew Sophia.
He did.
Which is why he didn't attack Ellie. Oh my gosh.
That's
that makes
right.
So much sense.
Yep. He will in the battle where the executioner is present, but every other one, he never touches Ellie.
Wow. And that's why Krellian also has an interest in her because of her similarities. I'm sure it's deeper than just her physical appearance, but okay.
Sophia, Lacan, Krellian, and Roni Fatima were all contemporaries 500 years ago. We haven't heard a lot about Roni Fatima, but we're starting to hear a lot about the other ones.
Right. And two of them are at least still like living and current.
That's right.
I'll open it now. Let's go, Faye. Ellie. I said no.
Let's run off. We're going to leave.
I thought it was about time for you to come.
Satan.
Ah, good guess. It's no use trying to stop me. Even if it is you, if you get in my way, I have no choice but to... That is no way for a lady to speak. I just came here to see you off. I refueled Weltal. We are ready to go anytime. He's coming with you. Satan. But, Ellie, you cannot use your gear while it's under repairs. Take the Heimdall. What? Then what am I? You know what? You know that Omni gear that... What if you borrow it?
The Omni gear that responded to her in Shavat.
Yeah. No way. I can't take Shavat's property without permission. Ellie is the only appropriate person for the gear. Nobody else can operate it. No. Never. I won't ride it, ever. Ellie, what's wrong? I'm so scared. That's why. I'll never want to do it. This is a problem. How about if I ride with you?
Good guess.
Everyone? Sorry, Faye. I'm sorry. Sorry. No. Thanks, everyone. Now, I know you hate to leave, but we should get going before dawn. I did some work on the radar, so it should work fine. They have left.
So Ellie went with Faye and Veltal.
Faye, where? They went far away. Oh, poor Emeralda. Go. Must follow Mom and Dad.
That's right.
Jerk faces.
These guys.
Every time I see them, I just feel annoyance.
I know, right?
Kane, making a ridiculous setup with Hyuga. He certainly has his deficiencies compared to our digitized existence, which permits us to use a higher level of logical thinking and no empathy. He's restricted by his human form, which is nothing but bones. Regardless, with just one machine, he annihilated Etronach. His powers must not be underestimated.
This is pretty much proof, though, that they certainly were not in Etronach/Solaris. They're somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think they were in Etronach at all.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty clear, but then this is definitely proof they weren't there.
Yeah, but we also got like all that talk about how God went underground and hiding.
That's true.
So we're already short on time. The key. Use the key. Even you are beginning to feel the pressure. Oh, hi.
Krellian!
Hologram Krellian. Krellian. What is Kane's situation? The usual life extension treatment. He'll hold out for a little longer. Weird breakup. Does that mean we may not make it in time? I would not know. You spoke of using the key. Can you be sure that he can be eliminated? But we do not know, or that we do not know. You know who he is. If he has the contact, there is a possibility he may not transmigrate. It's an organism composed of multiple generations. It's a matter of probability. That does not mean we can just remain idle. Yes, at this rate, we are bound to make the same mistake, but we can't fail a second time. Oh, don't worry. I've sent Ramses to deal with him. That's trash. What can a failure like him do? He couldn't even defend Entronach. What can you expect from trash like him? Well, I mean, it was just him. What were the rest of your gears doing?
Indeed.
Even if he has the anima relic? The relic? Oh, did he get the Omni gear? The relic that we recovered when he has been aligned with his gear.
So Krellian recovered a separate anima relic and aligned it with Ramses' gear. So it's not the Omni gear we saw in Solaris, no.
Interesting. There shouldn't be any problems now. He should be able to use his full power. You're going to take the task yourself? Although he transmigrated, wasn't he once one of you? I don't understand you. That's interesting. I have thoughts about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've thrown away all feelings of human emotion. All I need is her. But isn't that also an emotion? Of course. Is that a blunder? You're irritating. Do you wish to cease your existence? Fine. We shall leave it at that.
So he threatened them, and they backed off.
Well, he has a lot of control over their existence right now.
He does.
Elheim. Yes, this is the place I want you to bring her here. She's an important woman to me. Don't be ridiculous. Why do I have to listen to you? If you need her, go get her yourself. You're quite right, but can you say the same thing after looking at this? This is... Your gear and the anima relic have been aligned. This is the Omni gear. Now, she is with Faye now. What? Losing those battles against Faye again and again. I believe it's because of the difference in the performance of gears. I think you'll be able to use 100% of its abilities. So how about it? However, if you still fail with this, you are truly trash. Ramses, will you go? Car, are you going? Yes, I must get rid of him with my own hands. Be careful. I believe in you no matter what others say. Faye, what a loathsome name. I worked my way up on my own. But he ruined it again. Huh? That signal. It's him. I'm not trash. I'm not worthless. Oh dear. What kind of gear is that?
Mm-hmm.
Omni gear, and according to the readings, it's clearly different from the one Bart's using or the one in Shavat. You think it's the perfect gear? Perfect gear? Remember what Satan said? He said that the Omni gears are controlled by mental waves. The potential varies depending on the rate of synchronism. The numbers indicate complete synchronization. 98%, 89%. They're catching up with us. Your performance is sad. I knew you'd be there. Ramses? Turn Lieutenant Elheim over to me, Faye. What? Why do we have to turn Ellie over to you? Oh, I get it. It's Krellion's idea, isn't it? I don't think so. You can't expect me to comply. I can take her by force if you wish. But then, don't ever expect to be able to hold her in your arms ever again. Faye. Don't worry, I'll protect you. I'm Batman. Impressive words. Faye, I intend to take everything away from you.
Battle in the sky.
This is your final warning. Hand over Lieutenant Elheim now. I refuse to. Are you sure you want to refuse me? It'll be too late for you to change your mind later. Stop your stupid boasting. Oh. Well then, I'll have to show you if I'm boasting or not. So be it. No holding back, and no holds barred. Come on, come on! What poor form? What's wrong, Faye? In the presence of my vendetta, your Veltal's but only an infant.
So, this is the same gear that Ramses was using before. This is Wyvern, but it's been aligned with an anima relic, and he now calls it Vendetta. Which is a fitting name for Ramses, really.
Yeah, I agree. Incredible. This undeniable difference in power. Yang, are you watching this? At this rate, and with this power, I can defeat him. Ramses, listen, I surrender. So please, stop attacking us this instant. What are you saying? If you do that... It is me he wants. I can't drag you into danger just over me. Stop attacking, Ramses. If I'm what you want, then just take me. I win. I can win. I am not the worthless one. Ramses, can't you hear us? He's lost himself in the overwhelming power of that gear of his. Tay, we had better run. It's over for you, Fei Fong Wong. Whoa. Wow.
Ah! So he blasted Veltol out of the sky there.
No. I am not worthless one. Huh?
Oopsie.
I've even taken out the lieutenant too. Damn, I forgot my orders. Oh well. To hell with Krellion's orders.
He just pieces out immediately.
All right. Damn. Bleeding. The bleeding won't stop. If things don't change, at this rate, Ellie's not going to make it. Ellie, hang in there. Ellie, I'll save you, I promise. Ellie. Looks almost like they're back in like the Lahan forest area.
Yeah, it's definitely a forested area. Look, Grof's there.
Oh. Hey, hey, Lacan. Got a bone to pick with you.
That's right. Veltol obviously has seen better days.
Oh boy.
And we're back. Disc 2 begins.
Well, that picks up right where it left off. Interesting.
So, allow me to introduce the exposition chair. This is going to be one of our best friends for Disc 2. And those of you that have been veterans...
Exposition chair.
Yeah, those of you that are veterans of this game and have played it before know exactly what I'm talking about. This is going to show up quite a lot. So we've got Faye sitting here. I'll go ahead and narrate these sections. And then, Austin, I'll leave the character dialogue boxes to you still.
I'll happily take the break.
All right. Dreaming. I was dreaming. Perhaps it may have been but a long-forgotten memory. A dream, a memory. Things remembered when one is asleep. Things forgotten when one is awake. Where the deepest layers of memories become the outmost layers of one's dreams. Which are reality? Which are illusions? One cannot tell until one awakes. Or perhaps they are, at the same time, both truth and fiction. A vast nebulous with no boundaries, an emptiness equivalent to my own existence. I dreamt such a dream, a long, never-ending dream.
Lacan. Lacan, what is wrong? Lacan?
In that dream, I was called Lacan. I was an artist. I had become recognized as a talented artist and now was painting the portrait of the Nissan mother, Sophia.
Huh? No, it is nothing. Let us finish for today. You look rather tired. Are you all right? I'm fine, thank you. But now that you mention it, shall we stop for the day? You must be the one who is tired, Mother Sophia. Enough of that now. Practically identical.
Mm-hmm.
When it is just the two of us, would you stop calling me that? Just call me Ellie, as you used to do in the days of old. You don't have to be so stiff and formal. Oh, all right. Very well. No, I mean, yes, let's do that, Ellie.
Ellie. It was a time when she went by such a name, a time when we had met up with one another, a time when nothing mattered between us. It was better that way. Just two people together. It was better to have left it that way.
I think I might go back home. Only for a week or so. Oh, really? What is the matter? I ran out of paint, so I need to go make some more. You're going all the way just to do that? If I don't go there, I won't be able to get the right pigments. Oh. Then how about I have one of my followers, the Kahal, take you to one of our gears?
The Kahal.
You arrive quicker and you'll be much more safe.
I lied. I wasn't out of paint. I just feared I would finish the portrait. I wanted to keep on painting. Forever. So I wanted to buy time. She'd probably despise me for that. No, she'd probably just give me her usual smile. She was that kind of woman. You recall, the portrait of Mother Sophia we saw was unfinished. That's why.
Right.
Dreams, a life of a man named Lacan, and the lives of countless other men, all but dreams. Now that I am awake, those countless numbers of long, heart-rending dreams are almost impossible to remember at all. In those dreams, I loved one woman. No matter the day, no matter the era, that did not change, nor did her name.
That's interesting.
That dream changed me. That dream was the catalyst for me to resolve what my purpose was. I think I know now what I have to do. That long, long memory of a dream. Perhaps it was the memory of my soul. A dream. I was dreaming a dream, or perhaps it was a memory from a distant past. A dream, a memory. Those words I was unable to convey. That day, that time. Those thoughts I was unable to carry out. Words and thoughts, the connection between the two. Without words, thoughts cannot be conveyed. Without thoughts, there are no words. They are both as vital as each other. They can never be divided, like the wings of angels, like a man and a woman. An unchangeable destiny, feelings one wishes one could change, meeting with the person who would change me, and watching myself change. I dreamt such a dream, a long, never-ending dream.
Lacan. Lacan, what is wrong? Lacan?
In that dream, I was called Sophia, Mother Sophia, a symbolic name crowned upon the person who would be the people's hope, a name I was destined to have whether I wanted it or not.
Oh, no, it's nothing. Let us finish for today. You look rather tired. Are you all right? I'm fine, thank you. But now that you mention it, shall we stop for the day? You must be the one who is tired, Mother Sophia. Enough of that now. When it is just the two of us, would you stop calling me that? Just call me Ellie, as you used to do in the old days. And you don't have to be so stiff and formal. Oh, all right. Very well. No, I mean, yes, let's do that, Ellie.
Elheim. I've always liked that name, because when I first met him, that is what he called me. That is my true name.
I think I might go back home. Only for a week or so. Oh, really? What's the matter? I ran out of paint, so I need to go make some more. You're going all the way just to do that? If I don't go there, I won't be able to get the right pigments. Oh. Then how about I have one of my followers, the Kahal, take you in one of our gears? You'll arrive quicker and you'll be much more safe.
I wonder when it started, that he started refusing me. The walls between us, our positions, our circumstances. He refused to recognize these. No, maybe it was me. Therefore, I didn't want them. I wanted the two of us to be ourselves. That is what I wished for. So I had him paint me the way I really am. Dreams. A life of a woman named Sophia, and the lives of countless other women. All but dreams. Now that I am awake, those countless numbers of long, heart-rending dreams are almost impossible to remember at all. In those dreams, I loved one man. No matter the day, no matter the era, that did not change. Only his name. That dream changed me. That dream was the catalyst for me to resolve what my purpose was. I think I know now what I have to do. That long, long memory of a dream that perhaps was the memory of my soul.
Mysterious old man. Perfect.
Yup.
He's finally awake.
He's big.
He is big. Here you go.
What the?
I'm healed? Hey, you've been sleeping in the nano reactor for 3 weeks. Is that the thing that Krellian invented?
That's right.
Nano reactor? Who are you? Oh, is that Melchior?
Yes.
Me? Because I remember seeing a character like that in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my name. Some people call me Tora.
Tora Melchior.
Oh. You seem to have recovered completely. Those were terrible wounds, but maybe your youth and strength helped. Yes. But your friend's wounds are more serious and may take a while longer. My friend? Ellie! Ellie. Hey, quit staring at the naked girl and come over here.
Huh?
Ellie?
All right. Finally, sort of have a little bit of control here. Pop in here. Walk into the wall for some reason. Titan!
Titan. What? Faye. Doc. I heard from Tara and then hurried right over here. Boy, that was lucky. You were fortunate to have come down near Tora's research facility. This is no research facility. It is a man's hideaway. Satan told me about you. I was shocked to see a couple lying down with blood all over them. A couple? At any rate, you had a narrow escape. Faye, make sure you thank Tara. Thank Tara.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, thank you very much for helping Ellie. Both Ellie and I were hurt so badly. What is that machine? It's called a nanoreactor. It is a device that can rebuild substances at the molecular level. Not only can it just heal humans, but theoretically it should also be able to create many substances. Is it the same thing as the guy in Solaris? I mean, is that the same thing as Krellian is studying? Yes, that's right. I was the one who taught nanotechnology to him. You did? We shouldn't waste time talking about such an unimportant subject.
Yeah, Tora Melchior taught Krellian back in the day.
Right. Looks like her treatment is done. That was fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't need to come. Just wait there. Give the woman some privacy. Titan, what are you doing here, buddy? Faye. Ellie. Ally. Faye. Now, why don't you go to get some fresh air outside? Yes? Not to ease the shock of the change.
Great.
So, do we make out here, or... I knew it was you. Faye? When you came in the room just then, I was afraid you may have forgotten about me and everything else. What do you mean? I mean, because... Ellie, you seemed a little different than before. Has my face changed? No, that's not it. It's more like... I mean, your atmosphere or impression is different. Just a little. But I felt something familiar. I felt the same way when I met you for the first time. Some peculiar feeling like we've met before somewhere. Faye? Yes? I don't remember much about what happened after we were shot down. It's better that way. But I heard someone calling my name. felt I was covered with something very warm. It's your blood.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that clearly. Thank you, Faye. Ellie? Faye? Hey, it's almost time for you to come back. Rude. There's something important we need to talk to you about. Yes? All right, we're coming. Well, Ellie, shall we go see what's up? Sure.
Okay.
At least you're not frozen in carbonite. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now we're at Yoda's house.
Yeah, he's like a strange hermit. Very much like Yoda, actually. Here we go. Wait, where's the door? I don't think there's anything here at the moment. We'll pop in.
Usually doors are on the side of a house.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm here to help.
Oh, we got a good save point here. Gonna be another set of things that will occur after we go in the next room here. Good to go?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right.
How do you feel now? The fresh forest air should have refreshed you somewhat, eh? Anyway, it's about the removal of the seal. I found out it can be released by using the nanotechnology that regenerated you two. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The nanoassemblers are enclosed in this pod. If only we could scatter them all over the world. There's an ancient military installation nearby. We might be able to use the mass driver located in there to launch this pod into the upper atmosphere. Once the nanoassemblers are released up there, the convection currents should spread them over the world. I wish I could do it, but I'm getting much too old for that type of thing. And fat. then again, it's for your future. An old man should not butt in. You young ones must do it for yourselves. Yes. Here. And of course, I'm not asking you to do it for free. Try this wristband on.
Mm-hmm.
I call it a watch. It helps you tell time. What is that? This is an emotion control device, an ECD, in which nanotechnology is applied. From this machine shaped as a wristband, nanomachines are infused through your epidermis into your brain. There, they refine the SSRI intracerebral substances, such as serotonin, that controls emotions.
So, just to cut through this technobabble a little bit here, it's a little oddly worded, SSRI intracerebral substances, right? So SSRI is an initialism for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. You might also think of it as an antidepressant or a psychological controller. That's if you are taking medicine for depression or sometimes anxiety, you might take an SSRI. They're using it specifically to refer to substances such as serotonin, which is a chemical that carries messages between nerve cells in the brain and throughout your body. So serotonin plays a key role in body functions like mood, sleep, digestion, nausea, wound healing, bone health, blood clotting, sexual desire. It's extremely important. So what he's saying is, essentially, this will use nanotech to control emotional response and, you know, the transformation within Faye's body.
Okay.
The long and short of it is that.
Gotcha.
Hmm?
Well, I suppose it's rather difficult for you to understand. But in short, it means that the manifestation of your second personality, id, can be suppressed. Yes.
Right. So id won't randomly come out anymore because the emotion control device will help Faye not randomly turn into the crazy murderer man.
Id. Faye. Well, it's all theoretical, though. Oh, and I did one more thing as well. I installed the same control device in your gear. Aren't I amazing? You mean it can release id at will? Yes, I call it System id. SID.
System id is fantastic.
But of course, it should not be overused. Use it only as a last resort.
Oh, don't worry, Melchior. I promise. Fingers are crossed, by the way.
I'll never use it for a standard battle.
Right.
Ellie. Doc, Faye, there was nothing you could do. This will never happen again with Tora's technology, though. He is one of the 3 Shivat sages. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. Oh, it sounds like we have a guest. Yes. Was this a visitor I heard?
A visitor? Who could it be? It is all right.
Faye, it is all right.
All right. Let's go check out who the visitor is.
Hey, Faye. Funny joke. Shivat emissary. Faye, we've got problems.
Problems, you say?
Yes. Today, a peace settlement between Av and Kislev is being held at Shivat. But Solaris' mobile weapons are approaching Shivat as we speak. Please help us. That has nothing to do with this young man. Tora. You're getting on at my nerves for being so selfish. Satan told me about you. You showed up after finding out that id is now controllable. Aren't you ashamed? You haven't changed since then. You only care about yourselves. Faye, you don't need to listen to these guys who once tried to kill you. But... Please go. I'll go to the mass driver. Ellie? No matter what happens before, Shivat needs your help now. Although you may be saving some selfish people, there's still the world and its countries with many more innocent people. Please don't forget that. Barton and his people are fighting to protect those same lives, aren't they? So please go help them. Are you sure? What about you? Don't worry about me. I'll manage somehow. But all by yourself? I'll accompany Ellie. You do not need to worry. I have brought along my own Omni gear.
Yes. So
What?
Satan has now been upgraded to an Omni gear as well.
But why? Your own Omni gear? Yes, my Omni gear. Fenrir. Oh,
So,
of course, it's Fenrir. What a fitting name.
So Satan's second gear, his Omni gear, is named Fenrir. From Norse mythology, a monstrous wolf said to bring about Ragnarok, or the twilight of the gods, and the death of Odin. Very, very fitting, considering his last gear was Heimdall. So,
Yes.
yeah.
It's the same one I brought from Solaris. I left it with Gaspar in case of emergencies.
So this is his gear from the old days. So, if you recall, Sigurd was saying Heimdall probably wasn't even enough for him. That's because he used to use Fenrir, his Omni gear. Now he will again.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Doc. All right, please take care of her for me. Ellie, be careful. I will. We are truly grateful for your kindness, Faye. Yeah. Boot to the face. Suit yourselves. Ignis, right? Yes, the goal of the enemy is to destroy the cities in Ignis. They have already destroyed half of Bledavik and will probably reach Nasan in about 4 hours. Shivat will try to drive them back with all the power it has. 4 hours. It's cutting it close. No need to worry. Balthazar and I fixed your gear with the nano machines. It's much more powerful than it ever was before. Why, you should even get there in half the time, yes. What? Is Old Man Bal here? Emeralda's here as well. Alright.
Allow me to introduce Veltal 2.
I thought that was Sibson at first.
Nope. They fixed it
Wow.
with the nano machines. It's much larger now, too.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shares more of the Demon of Elru's features too.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
This is incredible. Ah, we meet again. The host for the spirit of the Slayer of God. I didn't think I would ever work on it again. But why are you both helping me? There are some things you just can't explain with the word fate. You're just going to have to see it with your own eyes. Just. Hey. Going? Yeah, I'd better hurry. Hey, where are you going? Faye, please hurry. All right. Where she's going is to get her gear. She's coming with you. Are you sure you want to go through with this? You wanted to live quietly away from the battlefield, did you not? I noticed myself running away from reality. At first, I thought my situation was similar to his. I thought Faye would understand my feelings. I didn't know if my love for him was real. I might have been desperate after losing my mother and father. Ellie. Despite all that, I may still love him. That's why I want to see what Faye can do and what I can do. I want us to be apart and think about ourselves again. I want to see how I really feel. You have changed a lot, Tilly. What happened to you in the past 3 weeks? Really? I don't think I've changed. Yes, you have. I should say, you've matured. Like a mother. Excuse me, I'm only 18 years old. I'm nowhere near the age of being your mother. Sorry, you gave me that impression, that is all. Anyway, Saiton, I'm going now. Alright, I will follow as soon as I finish off here. I go too. What? I go. Esmeralda, I can't take anyone else along with me for something like this. I'll be fine on my own. If Ellie go, I go too. Esmeralda have to go with you. Esmeralda? No, Esmeralda go too. Why not let her go? I'm sure Solaris has a hunch about the limiter. It may have interfered, so you may feel uneasy going it alone. I think Emeralda's cut out for this job. Besides, she's going to want to go no matter what. Take care of her until I can join you, please. Okay, you win. Let's help each other, all right? I can do it alone. You just watch. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm? I thought so. So you were the one who fought Faye and his girl to me. Brought Faye, not fought them. Haha.
So Groff brought Faye and Ellie to Melchior.
I realized it the minute I saw the two of them. Why, how could I help but notice? They looked the spitting image of you and her, yes, just as you yourselves looked way back then. Right, Lacan?
Oh, hello.
It affects their appearance. What do you mean he's still alive? Disqualified? Yes. Ridiculous. Didn't Ramses shoot him down? She was also on the gear that Ramses shut down. I won't have her die. But there's already a mother. Although she may be the antitype, as long as the current mother exists. As far as I see it, that is not complete. Quite picky, aren't you? Didn't you say you threw away all human emotions? I don't care what you think anyway. As far as he is concerned, I will put Ramses onto him. Any objections? Where is he presently? Entronach is destroyed, but part of the memory cube is still intact, or active. We should still be able to locate individuals. Wait a moment. He has left the crash site and is heading toward Ignis. I see. So he has left the area. That means it is only a matter of time before the seal is broken. Did you say something? It is nothing. Just sit there and wait for the good news. What about retrieving the girl? The key is already beginning to resonate. The time of the resurrection is near. We can get there, girl, anytime. It doesn't have to be now. Let's take our time.
All right. On my way to Ignis, I re-encountered him, Karan Ramses. Ramses once again stood in my way in his Omnigear vendetta. It was an unavoidable battle. I released the new function that was added to my Mark II gear, System ID.
Tutorial 5. Ooh.
System ID is really cool.
Well, notice his gear color didn't change because it's still fading control.
Correct.
Right?
It is still blue, but the flaps on the back extend when in System ID. Couple things about Phase Veltal 2 here. Note, I've got almost 18,000 health, so the frame has been upgraded. Fuel at 6,600. We have a couple of special options. This is the frame HP I had on Veltal before. System ID is active. ID mode for 3 turns. There are a couple of other special moves added here. I usually don't use these because honestly, System ID is plenty, but we might just, check them out. But they are pretty expensive on fuel. System ID, what it does is it puts you in hyper mode for 3 turns.
Ah.
So, we could just right away go crazy with infinity level combos. The only thing about System It is holy pendants don't affect it. So you will only get 3 turns even if you have a pendant equipped. So don't waste one on Faye and Veltal too. We'll just do all of these. Oh, I missed.
Oh, I missed.
Oh! Blaze pose. Time to break that. Use Goten. Come on. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to need to give it Veltal 2 a magnetic coat here. Note the wings have gone back in. You can still hit pretty hard, but... Same attacks he was using before when he devastated Veltal. There we go. So, if you played this game without grinding like crazy, you see a lot of Goten X. Because you need to be level 70 to use Kishin.
Jeez.
Oh, and use Kosho as well. That's it. Ram's absolute confidence was shattered, leaving only his cry of disbelief and resentment. Rams's machine disappeared into a sea of foliage. Why he was so fixated on me, I know not why, but he did say this. If only you didn't exist. Okay, so we are headed toward the mass driver facility at this point. I believe what we're going to do is go ahead and cut this episode here, because there's a good bit more to do, but I did want to get through the second battle of Vendetta this episode, just to get revenge on Ramses there. But we do have quite a bit coming up. We're going to do the kind of unusual bit of not ending on a save point here. But we will be back next time to continue this. We'll start at this exact scene. And yeah, lots to digest still. But this is going to be a lot of how Disc 2 plays out. There will be the exposition chair, and usually either Faye or Ellie will be sitting in it talking about things. It's not exclusive to them, but most of the time it's going to be one of them talking.
Right.
And as we've seen previously, there was narration that seemed to be taking place while Faye and Ellie were unconscious. But they're conscious now, and they're just kind of explaining things that happened. This is because of time constraints and budgetary type things going on with the second disc in particular. So this is the ludonarrative change I've been alluding to a lot. We are still going to get the complete story of this game, and it will go back to the open world type exploration stuff eventually. But it will be a minute before we get back to it. So, next time we'll deal with the mass driver facility and several other things as we come back to Xenogears. Any thoughts on Revelations as we kind of close this one out, Austin?
Way too many to put into words right this second.
Yeah. So we learned, we saw the destruction of Solaris. We learned Faye and Id are the same person, which is kind of the big bombshell of this episode, I think. Along with a lot of stuff about what's been going on throughout this game as well as well before. And then we saw some things about Lacan and Sophia, who we learned her real name is Ellie because her name's always Ellie. Always Elheim.
Which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if she is also somebody who has had her appearance changed in the way that Id changes Faye's appearance. Because, because she being the daughter of two very blonde people.
Right.
Right. Like, I think her mom is the biological mother.
I'm of that opinion as well. I do believe she is the biological daughter of Eric and Medina.
Right. So, and there's clearly a history between Faye's incarnations and hers.
Yes.
So, I wonder if whatever it is that allows that whatever that transmigrating thing is, also affects her appearance.
Yeah, well, and it would be affecting Faye's as well, because not just Id, right? Faye and Lacan and Kim all look the same.
Right, yes. Yeah, that's right.
So it would affect both of them in their kind of base appearance there. Id, if anything, is an abnormality on that.
Right.
Although we don't know what Groff looks like under the mask, so that's kind of interesting as well. But
he looks like Khan. What are you talking about?
Looks like Lacan?
No, well, yeah. No, I think he looks like Khan, Faye's father.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I predicted earlier that Faye would have to fight his dad in some capacity.
Ah, I see.
I'm still holding on to that.
That's interesting, since we know he's Lacan as well.
Yeah. Which Khan could be short for Lacan.
Or...
I know it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's interesting, though, yeah. I like that. That's
but
cool.
Lacan is also Groff, so,
That's true. Yeah.
And we've seen them in a distinct, different, together, but different people, so.
That's true. All right. Well, next time we pick back up with the mass driver facility and more developments as we close in on... I don't know if I can even describe it, but we will...
More stuff.
Yeah, more stuff. We will be continuing Disc 2, is what I'll say. That's how I'll put it. Of Xenogears. We hope you're enjoying. And yeah, stick with us through this. This is a very different kind of storytelling, but it's very interesting in my opinion, and we get some really high-level stuff, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, and...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, since we're wrapping up, in the meantime, if you like what you've been watching, please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are, your input. As always with this series, especially since I haven't gone through it all the way, keep spoilers out of the comments as much as you can. Just up to where we are in the story and before is fine.
Yeah, and on that note, thank you for not spoiling the Faye-Id connection there. That was one I've been savoring for, what is this, 27 episodes now before it, like, the formal reveal of it. So yeah, you guys are doing great. Thanks.
Hope the response was well worth it.
It was for me.
Yeah, and then if you do like what you're watching, obviously like, subscribe, share with friends.
Yep.
And check out our other series as well. We've got a bunch of other stuff out at this point. We got stuff coming down the pipeline that we think you'll like, so definitely keep an eye on us. We'll also have stuff in the community periodically, various surveys and just topics that we love to hear your engagement from. But more than anything else, we just like having you with us. So more than anything else, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we will see you all in the next episode.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Diddly diddly do 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 do. Thanks for watching.